Hey everyone, it is time to say goodbye to January, and I am not sad about it. Let's take the money from our completed savings challenges and move it into our sinking funds. Welcome or welcome back. Thank you so much for choosing to spend a little bit of time with me here today. If you are new here, my name is Laura, and this is Teacher Mom Budgets, and here we use a zero-based budgeting system, sinking funds, and savings challenges to help us stay on track with our finances and to help us reach our goals. I also primarily work with prop money in my budgeting systems, so if these are things that interest you, take a moment to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a future video. Okay, here we go, and end of the month money moves for January. Goodbye, January. I am not sad to see you go. Let's go ahead and start kind of organizing our challenges here. This is everything we finished in the month of January. Some of them may not have started in January, but this is at least ones that we finished. We like to go ahead and count up these totals and see just how much we saved. We track it on my spreadsheet here, the new one now for 2026. Looks a little bit different than 2025, but same concept here. We'll go ahead and track and see how much we saved in each of these areas of savings that we have, and then we'll make decisions and go ahead and reallocate this money into our sinking funds in our high yield. So as I mentioned, I primarily do work with prop money here. And this prop money for these challenges is all representative of money that has been transferred into our high yield savings account, with the exception of mini Mondays and Freebie Fridays. I'll talk about that in a minute. It is sitting in that savings challenge category while we play these games. When these challenges complete, we go ahead and write on the challenge where it's going to be headed specifically, or if it's going to be randomized, and we go ahead and track where we're going to be making those transfers from our savings challenge category into the other 8 categories that we focus on: family, pets, education, holidays, home, vehicles, travel, and emergencies. If you've never seen one of my end of the month money moves in 2025, welcome. I'll go ahead and walk you through the process of how we allocate our funds and make those decisions here. So I think I've got everything separated. I've got some seasonal group plays here. I've got my letterbox, my football challenge. That is a big one. I believe all of these are our monthlies here. And then I've got my mini Mondays and my Freebie Fridays. So let's try to organize this just a little bit better so I can get my spreadsheet in here so we can go ahead and start tracking. So my new tracker here for 2026, again, looks very similar to 2025, but I did add a few categories. So we still have our mini Mondays and our Freebie Fridays. That money is reallocated right away, but I do save the challenges because I do like to see how much I'm able to save through the month in those areas. I've got my Tiny Tuesday area, my letterbox, my monthly challenges, group plays, and seasonal. I added a Christmas category as I'm working on my Christmas binder in 2026, as well as adding in a holidays and special events category because I'm working on using rollover money each pay period for this particular area. So I kind of organized it based on the binders that I have. I've got a mini Mondays section in a binder, Freebie Fridays, Tiny Tuesday binder, a letterbox binder, a monthly savings challenge binder, seasonal and group plays section, a Christmas binder, a holiday special events binder, and then a game section. And then I still do have my other category here. We'll be able to use this when we finish year-long challenges or any other long-term things, or something like my football challenge, which just runs a number of months through the year. And then we've got our totals here on the side. Let's go ahead and start here with our mini Mondays. I need my calculator here as well. So my mini Mondays challenges, we do reallocate this money right away at the end of the month. We don't wait. This is savings for more short-term revolving sinking funds, but I do like to continue to track and see just how much we save for the month. Not all of these challenges were started in January, but they finished in January. Let's see how much we finished here. We've got $12 from this challenge from Cash and Color Budgets. We've got another $12 from the Cafecito budget. We have $20 here from CBA Mom Saves. We've got $12 from Floating Funds, and $16 here from a challenge from Saturn's Vault, and $20 from a challenge from Pink Plum Budgeting. That looks like it gives us a total of $92. So we'll go ahead and start there. and write that into our Mini Mondays column for January. We have nothing to compare it to since, of course, this is the first month here of 2026, but 92. That's a pretty good number here to start with January for Mini Mondays. And again, this money has already been reallocated into those short-term sinking funds within that savings account. So my Mini Mondays and my Freebie Fridays is actually money that is in a different savings account than the rest of these savings challenges, which is all in my high yield. My Mini Mondays challenges are part of my light blue binder, and this is a savings account that we have that's connected to a checking account. And because these are short-term revolving sinking funds, all of the savings challenges here are helping to fund these envelopes that are more for short-term and variable expenses, as the savings account is connected to the account that we primarily use for variable expenses. Same thing goes here for our Freebie Fridays. It is part of my red binder here. This is another savings account that we have connected to a checking account. This is the account that we primarily use for fixed expenses, and we have our Freebie Fridays part of this savings account here, and these savings challenges just help fund these revolving short-term sinking funds in that account. So if you are interested in seeing the way that I set everything up, I do have a video that I'll go ahead and tag in the description that goes through my entire system of where all of our money is in the different accounts that we have, if you're interested to see how I break things down. Let's move on here to Freebie Fridays. So again, this money is already reallocated here, and I just have these little card placeholders that I use in my completed savings challenge bag so that we can keep them all together. So Freebie Fridays here, we've got $12 for this challenge from Cat Lady Budgets. We've got a $30 completion here from Purely Budgets. This one here is $22 from Buttercup Budgets. We've got one here for $18 from the Mrs. Champion, $16 from a challenge from Budgeting with a Ginger, and $24 from a challenge from myself, TeacherMomBudgets. That gives us a total of $122. Wow, for Freebie Fridays. That's pretty cool. So again, these are not challenges that all started in January, but these are ones that finished in January. So that's a really great number here for our Freebie Fridays. Super excited to see that. Okay, let's get into the savings challenges that are part of my high yield here, where we're going to start shifting that money into our sinking funds in these other 8 categories that we primarily focus on. Let's go ahead and start with our Tiny Tuesdays. Let's do a little shuffle here to get things in order. Okay, we finished 2 sets of tinies here in the month of January. Or was it just one? I thought we had 2. Let me see here. Did I miss one? Oh, I did. I was going to say, I thought we finished 2. It was hiding back there. All right. So we did finish 2 sets of tinies here through the month of January. These take time. So these definitely did not start in January, but they were finished in January. So we've got one set here from Lifted Up and Living, and this was completed for $48. So if you check out my Tiny Tuesday videos, I work with small amounts and sets of tinies, and we let these little guys continue to grow until the entire set is complete, and then we go ahead and reallocate this money into our different areas. So $48 is going into family. Let's double check and make sure that's what we have. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 46, 47, and 48. That is awesome. It's going to go into our family category. I use this little cash tray here with my labels that have each of those areas designated, so we can go ahead and put it into the right area. So that one is done. And then we also have a tiny set here that was completed for $41. That's going to go into our travel category. So 41, we'll add that to the calculator, put those off to the side. Let's make sure we do have 41, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 41 going to travel. That is awesome. So that gives us a total of $89 in tinies that was finished for the month of January, and that is super exciting. Again, my tinies definitely take some patience. We don't necessarily finish a set every month, but this month we finished 2, and they definitely were not started in January, but they completed in January, and now we get to move that money into these sinking funds. Moving on now to our Letterbucks. Big month for our Letterbucks savings challenges. Oh my goodness, this is one too that we work on during our Tiny Tuesday videos, and it takes some time and patience, but we finished 3, which is absolutely amazing. I think this is the most we have ever finished in a month. I know we have finished 2 before, but definitely not 3. So super excited about that. These are $25 increments here. So we have $75 worth of money for our Letterbox that was completed. Now, if you've seen my Letterbox savings challenges, this is the only challenge that I do work on in real cash. But then for the end of the month, we go ahead and take that real cash, put it back into the bank, transfer it into our high yield savings account into that savings challenge category while it sits and waits till our end of the month money moves, where we go ahead and reallocate that money. Sometimes we have specific areas where this money is going. I think all of these are specific. Sometimes we go ahead and randomize it. So we've got $25. Well, let me go ahead and write the 75 in here for Letterbox because we do not need the calculator for this one. So 75 for Letterbox here today. We've got $25 that is going into our travel sinking fund. So travel is getting quite a bit of money here today, which is amazing. We've got our pets category that's going to get a $25 boost here too with a Letterbox completed challenge. And then we've got a Letterbox going to our emergency funds, $25 here, 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25 going into our emergency funds. That's awesome. I love it. Okay, moving on now to our monthly challenges. We should have 8 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We do. Now for my monthlies here, each of these challenges are dedicated to a specific area in our high yield as well. So currently this prop money is representative of money in that savings challenge category, and we are going to shift it into the other 8 categories that we focus on. So we've got $25 here going into, and we'll track this one here as well, $25 going into our emergency funds, 20 and 5. Wow, emergency funds is getting some money today. We've got $16 here that is going to go into our home category. Oh, and this challenge here was from the Mrs. Champion. This one here is from April's Fresh Start. So we've got 10, 15, 16 that's going into home. Next up here, we've got a challenge from Budgeting with a Ginger, $25 going into travel. Travel is getting some money today too. I love this. 66 is our total so far. We're adding $20 from a challenge from myself here that is going into our family category. Education, holidays, and vehicles need some love. It's going to get something though in here. Here's our education one that is for $16 from Anna Banana Budgets. And that's why I love my monthly challenges, because it just ensures that each of my categories gets a little bit of something by the end of the month. Sometimes some of these categories that gets more than others. This one here is going to vehicles, and it's from Oma Crafts and Budgets. But my monthly specifically, I know that there's going to at least be a little bit of money that is going into each of these categories. We've got $9 going to holidays from Julie's Pages. And lastly here, we should have one going to pets. We do for $12. And this is from Neurospicy Budgeting. $12 there going into our pets category. So we've got $139 here that was saved with our monthly challenges. This is a pretty set amount because we do start and finish them in January. It's usually a pretty consistent amount through the months of the year. Okay, so monthlies are done now. I got paper clips all over the place here. I need to get like a little container here to throw them into. So moving on now to group plays and seasonal challenges. We do have a few here. And now this is money that we typically randomize, and I think we're going to do that here today. So we've got one here from Tara over at Lifted Up and Living. This was such a cute challenge. This was for $25. And we've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. So I'm going to go ahead and just put this money off to the side here because we will randomize this. We've got another group play finished in January from Let It Be Budgets for $8. 5, 6, 7, and 8. That money will be randomized. And then one more here for $16. And this is from Happy to Save with Hannah. And this one will also be randomized. 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So that should give us $49 here in completed challenges for group plays and seasonals. So we'll write $49 here. I did start seasonal challenges here in 2026. So not just month specific group plays, but also challenges that we'll kind of work on through the different seasons of the year. And let's double check here, make sure that we do have the 49 as it says that we should. We'll go ahead and put this in order here real quick. All right, let's do a quick little double check here. We got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, and 49. Okay, $49 here will be randomized. Moving on now on our chart, we've got our Christmas category, and we don't have anything completed yet here for our Christmas binder. To be honest, we didn't even start our Christmas binder in January. I have been moving that money into our Savings Challenge category to be dedicated for Christmas. So my binder is set up. We've been shifting the money over during our cash stuffings each pay period. I just haven't started the challenges yet. So we'll be jumping into that in February. We don't have anything finished for holiday special events either. We did start this binder in January, but nothing has finished yet. So we've got nothing for these two categories to start. Now we've got games. We did not finish any games in January as well. We actually didn't start too many. We are working on our Savings Survivor, but there's definitely some other games that I want to bring in that we just haven't started yet. But in our other category, that is where this one is coming in. We've got our football challenges that we worked on through the football season. We've got a big one here with my Save the Score, and we've got my Touchdown Football Savings Challenge as well. Both of these are available on my Etsy shop if you are interested for next year's football season to save with us. So my football touchdown challenge here, this one saved us $36. We've got 20, 30, 35, and 36. And I think we're going to randomize this money specifically. So we're going to put that up there in that pile. But this guy here, my Save the Score, that saved us $489. This guy is going to be dedicated to specific areas here. So I'll show you how we're going to do that. Move my clip out of the way. $489 just for saving the score of each game throughout this season. Amazing. Let's give it a count. We've got 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 20, 40, 60, 80, 300, 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 400 here, 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 86, 87, 88, and 89. Whew, $489. That gives us a total of $525 that we'll put in our other category. I'm going to write football on here too, just a little note here. I'll always know that this month is always bigger because of that football challenge that wraps up. But who knows, maybe next year my team will make it to the Super Bowl and then we'll wrap it up in February instead. This challenge definitely not started in January. We started it, at the end of August or early September? Maybe it was September. And so this is savings that has accumulated over those months here, and we just finished it in January. So where's this money going to go? Well, I do have a breakdown here of where I want to add this money. And so we're going to do this. Now, I broke down specifically where we want to put this money. So not necessarily the 8 categories that we have, but the sinking funds that we have within these 8 categories. So this might be a little confusing here, but we're going to use kind of a Post-it to designate this money. So when we go to cash stuff this money into those sinking funds, we know we've got some specifics on where some of this money is going to go. So maybe it's a good thing that I have these paper clips kind of laying around here because I think we'll use them as we go ahead and reallocate this here. So we are going to start by adding $84 into our parents' birthdays, 20, 40, 60, 80. And then we're going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. So $84. And I'm going to put a little Post-it on it that says B-Days. So this is going to go into our holidays category. But specifically, I want this to go to a specific sinking fund. So let's just put this off to the side before I move anything into those areas here. Next up, we've got $200 that's going to go to extracurricular activities. 2, 4, 6, 8, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200. This is going to go into extracurricular activities for our kiddos. A big chunk of this money I did want to send that way. I figured how appropriate, it's a sports challenge. And so we're going to throw that to the different different activities and sports that our kiddos are involved in. So extracurriculars, that's going to go to our education category, but I want it specifically to go into that sinking fund in that category. We are going to go ahead and put $75 into Super Bowl, 20, 40, 60, 70, and then we need a 5 here. $75 is going into our Super Bowl sinking fund. This is just a little bit of fun money here to go ahead and use and splurge on Super Bowl food and things like that. So always nice to have a little bit of extra cash for the grocery budget there. We're going to put $30 into Valentine's Day, 10, 20, and 30. So 30 into Valentine's Day for that upcoming holiday. We don't necessarily do a whole bunch for Valentine's Day, but it is nice to have a little bit of money just for any special treats or chocolates or things that we want to buy our kiddos. Oop, it didn't clip all the way there. So Valentine's Day there. And then we've got $75 going to Easter, 10, 20, 30, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, $75 going to Easter, starting to save for that holiday that will be here before you know it. Oh, springtime, I am so ready for you. I don't mind the winter, but I definitely start to look forward to that next season that's coming. So Easter is getting $75. That should leave us here with $25 to randomize. We've got 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25. We're going to throw that into our randomized pile. So very official here, but I have that big chunk here and I wanted to be super specific as to where we put this money. So we'll throw that off to the side. These challenges done. Highest I've ever saved for my Save the Score challenge this year. So exciting. Now let's go ahead and put this money into these areas. So Easter, Valentine's Day, Super Bowl, and birthdays is actually all going into holidays here, but specifically those are going into those sinking funds. And then I've got extracurricular here that's going to go into our education category. So we'll slide that in there. So let's go ahead and find out what our total is here for completed challenges for the month. We've got $92 for Mini Mondays, $122 for Freebie Fridays, $89 for Tiny Tuesdays, $75 for Letterbucks, $139 for our monthlies, $49 for group plays, seasonals, and the biggie, $525 for our football challenges, which gives us a total of $1,091 in completed savings challenges that were finished for the month of January. Huge number, but again, I know why, because of that football challenge that we've worked on for a number of months that just finished here in January. This is just proof here though that small amounts really do add up. For my football challenge, I was saving anywhere between, I don't know, maybe $20 to $35 a week on average. Some were lower, some were higher. And so just putting that money away each week, it adds up to so much in the end when that finally finishes after a number of months have passed. So next up here, our chart is complete. We know our total savings completed for the month of January. Let's go ahead and reallocate our randomized money here that we have. I think we are going to go ahead and break down some of these bigger bills that we have. So with this $20, $30 here, we're going to go ahead and exchange it for some ones that I have. Let's go ahead and make sure I've got the 30. I've got my bank off to the side here if I do in fact need it, but let's go ahead and exchange this. So this $30 was from the money that we're going to randomize. We're just going to exchange it for some ones here so that we can randomize a little bit more than with these big bills. So we should have 30 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. All right, awesome. So this $30 is just going to go into my prop money bank here that I have off to the side. Let's go ahead and kind of throw these 5s into the mix of these ones. That is something that is nice about prop money, is that, condensing is pretty easy here because you've got, quite a bit of these different bills. You don't have to necessarily go to the bank to be able to get bigger denominations to be able to condense. It is more available with prop money, which I love. I just love the visual representation of prop money. We are primarily digital budgeters around here, but to have the physical representation of what we are doing with our money is really, really helpful for us, and I think has really been a great shift for us as we are trying to be more intentional and be, smarter with where our money is going and how we are using it. So, okay, I think we've got fives kind of mixed in here throughout. Kind of shuffle it up here a little bit. We've got quite a bit of money here to randomize. I should have counted it. That would have been exciting, but quite a bit here to randomize. So what we're going to do, we'll bring our categories over a little bit. We've got our dice here. You know what we might use? Should we use our 8-sided die or should we use the 6? Maybe we'll use the 6. We'll use our 6-sided die. No, you know what? We're going to use our 8-sided die. What am I saying? This is how we do this around here. We've got 8 categories. We're going to use our 8-sided die. Whatever the die tells us, we're going to go ahead and put, I think we'll put 2 bills into that area here that we have. So I've got my numbers. This year, look, I added the numbers onto my labels here so I don't have to count, make it a little bit easier for me. Before I just had the names and I was counting to make sure I knew what number it was going. This year we're being a little smarter. We've got the numbers there. So we'll roll our 8-sided die. This is all the money that we are randomizing into these categories. Whatever the die tells us, we'll go ahead and put 2 bills. Let's go ahead and do 2 bills. This might take us a little bit of time here, but we'll make it work. So starting off with travel here, now we're going into education. These areas are getting really thick here. So super exciting to see all this money that is going into sinking funds. So 3 here is education. Now we have different sinking funds for these 8 areas that we focus on. So you'll see that here. We'll go ahead and pull out the binders. Once we have all this money separated, we'll pull out the binders here and go ahead and make decisions on what sinking funds within these areas we want to go ahead and move this money to. I feel like vehicles and home is definitely not getting a bunch of money here. Boy, this one is super thick. Let's go ahead and throw it in the back for holidays. Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, holidays is a super thick here, but some categories tend to get more money than others in certain months, and I kind of like this process where, my monthlies help to make sure that every area just gets a little bit of something. But then we've got some categories that get boosts from Letterbucks, or they get boost from a tiny set that is completed, and so I really do enjoy this process. And then the randomizing, of course, just reallocates this money in a more spontaneous way. I don't like to randomize all of my challenges. I like to be a little bit more specific with quite a few of them, or most of them really, but it is nice to be able to randomize a little bit as well. How was your January though? I'll tell you what, I am ready for January to be gone. So I am recording this here on Saturday. It is the last day of January. Goodbye, January. Good riddance. I love the start of a new year to have a fresh start, but you were a doozy this month. So I am ready for the calendar to change into February. Now, I will say there were lots of good things that did happen in January. I keep trying to focus on the positive and the good things that occurred, but yeah, January was a doozy in other ways as well. So I love the start of a new month, a fresh start. We have a lot to look forward to in February. We've got the Super Bowl, which is always exciting. We've got the Olympics as well, which I love to watch. And one of my favorite shows, Survivor, is starting back up at the end of February too. So silly things, but a lot to look forward to as well. All right, let's go ahead. Let's move my dice out of the way. We're going to need my calculator back. So next up here, because I do always want to make sure that I am on track with this money because it is prop money. I want to make sure that we are, keeping it in the areas that it is supposed to be in. So I'm going to go through now and we're going to count up how much we have in each of these areas. And my tracker here, this is what allows me to know what to move for my savings challenge category into these other 8 categories. Because as I mentioned, my savings challenge money all sits in one bucket in my high yield for savings challenges. It all just sits there while we play the games. Now at the end of the month, now is when we make those shifts. So this cheat sheet here helps me to know what I'm shifting from my savings challenge category into these other ones. And then I'll show you how I can double check and make sure that I am accurate with my totals here. So starting off with family, let's go ahead and make sure that this money is in order here. Ooh, lots of fives. Ooh, lots of fives there. Let's see. Okay, I think we've got it. We've got 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76. What? $76 going to family? That is crazy. I think I'm going to be really surprised by my totals here today. And I know that this is a bigger month than typical because of that football challenge, but but I also had other things that finished that were also more than typical. We had 3 Letterbucks that finished this month. We had 2 Tinies that finished this month. So January is starting off. Might have been a rough month for me, but for savings challenges, I think this is going to be a great month for us. So Pets now has 20, 25, well, hang on, I got to get it in order here. 20, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, and 45. All right, $45. I always like to see which category is going to win for the month as well. So far, family is in the lead, but I think education is going to definitely destroy the totals. So we have $200 here that is going into education, into our extracurriculars here. Maybe I'll keep my little post-it note here to remind myself of that. And then the other money that is going to be going into other areas in our education category. Let's see, we've got 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and 36. So 236 total is what is being transferred from our savings challenge category into our high yield. Okay, moving on now to holidays. I don't think anything is going to beat education there. That was a big one. So let's see, we've got a couple of these specific ones. Oop, wait, we got to put the extracurricular money back in there. Okay, so B-Days, we've got $84 going to our parents' birthdays. We've got Super Bowl is getting $75 here. We've got Valentine's Day that is getting $30. We've got Easter that is getting $75. And then what is left here that we have? Let's give this account. We've got 10, 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So 15 more dollars. Wow. Holidays coming in big, $279 for holidays here. So I did a quick little recount to make sure that I was accurate because I was not expecting that. $279 here now going into our holiday sinking funds for January. I thought education was going to be the winner, but nope. Holidays was like, hang on, I'm coming in here. Let's see what we have for home. These areas I don't think have quite as much here, but there have been other months when home vehicles has been the winner. So let's see what we have. We've got 10, 15, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, and 34. So 34 will be going into our home sinking funds. Not too shabby. And vehicles is next here. We've got some 5s in here. We've got some 1s. We've got a 10. We've got 10, 15, 20, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. Vehicles might be the big loser here this month. $30 going into our vehicles sinking funds. Next up is travel. Travel, I think, is going to do pretty well here this month, too. We had, a Letterbucks or I think it was a Letterbucks that finished here for travel. And then did we have a Tiny that also finished for travel? I know it's getting a lot of love here today. Travel will be getting 20, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100. Hey, travel. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, and 15. $115. Oh my goodness, I did not expect that for travel. That is amazing. Little amounts, y'all. I'm telling you, little amounts add up and they definitely make an impact over time. And I am seeing that play out right before my eyes here. Emergency funds, we've got 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 61, and 62. Okay, not too bad there. 62 looks like vehicles was in fact the big loser here today. And surprisingly, holidays coming in big here. 279 going to holidays. Education in a very close second, 236. I'm going to go ahead and add this up completely here. I'll show you how I check my math. 76 plus 45 plus 236 plus 279 plus 34, 30, 115, and 62 gives me a total of $877. And I can double check my math here to make sure that I'm accurate because, as I mentioned, Mini Mondays and Freebie Fridays, those are part of different accounts. But Tiny Tuesdays on is everything that is in that high yield that is getting reallocated here. So let's see if we get the same number here. So 89, 75 for Letterbucks, 139 for monthlies, 49 for seasonals, 525 for the football gives us a total of 877, and that is what I love to see. My calculator and my cheat sheet are the same. So we are right on track, 877 getting shifted. So now I use this to go ahead and make those transfers, because now we're going to move this money into our sinking funds within these categories. And this allows me to know to go ahead and make those transfers. I'm going to put this off to the side. I think we're going to bring our bank money in here a little bit too. We might go ahead and condense a little bit as we go, but this then is going to tell me what I'm going to transfer in my high yield from that savings challenge category into our other sinking funds, or our other categories. We're going to put the money into those other sinking funds within those categories. Okay, here we go. I don't think we need our dice tower anymore. We'll bring our prop money in just in case we want to condense here a little bit, because we do have a lot of ones that we can definitely save, because I got to keep a hold of those ones here. Okay, so we are starting with our family category. Taxes is not a category that we use savings challenges for. That's a non-negotiable that we stuff each and every pay period. So that takes us here to family. And this is the category dashboard that I have here. So when I make that transfer from my savings challenge category into our family category for that amount of $76 here, as I wrote down, I like to see the breakdown with the different envelopes that we have. So that's why we have the separation of the different sinking funds within this larger category. So my account will tell me I have so much money in the category. The envelopes tell me how that money is broken down into the different areas. So we have $76 here to go ahead and reallocate into our family category. So we are going to make some dents in our Save the Age savings challenges here for our daughters. And this is really exciting here. So if you have not seen my cash stuffing videos, we have two sinking funds here for savings for both of our kiddos. And we use my Save the Age savings challenges to save for them. So these can be found in my Etsy shop if you are interested. I have them set up in different color schemes from birth all the way to 21 years of age. And the concept is you save their age each and every week. So we are paid twice a month. So we go ahead and fill in 2 icons each pay period for us. However, we are on a 24 pay period pay scale, which doesn't always equate with a weekly challenge, because we don't have 26 pay periods in the year. We have 24. So we go ahead and usually have a couple remaining at the end. Plus, we haven't always been super consistent through the years with this challenge. And so we are still working on some of these other older challenges to try to catch up here a little bit. So we're going to start here with our oldest daughter. We're going to add in, and we're going to finish this one here with the 4s. So we have 4, 8, and 12. Let's go ahead and start there. We might bounce around here a little bit, but we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. So 5, 10, 11, and 12. Let's go ahead and shade that in here. This is super exciting. This is one where we just had a couple of numbers left over here that we wanted to fill in, or that we're using savings challenges to go ahead and fill in. So that is amazing. So we've got 4, 8, 12 going there. And I'm going to keep that open because we might be adding in some more. And then I think we're going to go to, let's go to this 13 one. Okay, actually, I'm going to use the calculator here. So we had a total of, let's go ahead and shift this around a little bit. So we had a total of $76, and we just put $12 into that one here. So we have 64 left. So 13, 13, so that's 26, plus another 13 is 36, 39. Ooh, let's do it. Let's go ahead and wrap up these 3 13s as well. Let's do that. So 13, 13, and 13. Is my math right? 13, 13, and 13. Let me see here. So we have 64 left. So 13 times 3 is 39. And we're going to take that away from 64. So 39 here. So 20, 25, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38, and 39. So is that accurate here? 20, 25, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38, and 39. I think that's right. 13 times 3 is 39. Okay, we finished this tracker now too. That is amazing. And so now, so we had 76 minus 12 minus 39. I'm sorry with all the math here. So we should have $25 left, and we do. Okay, what more damage can we do on some of these trackers here? I think we have a couple of spots on the 15 one down here. We do. Let's go ahead and add 15 here. Okay, 15 into this tracker. So we've got 5, 10, 15 is going to go here. So that should leave us with 10. Okay, so we'll put that here. 5, 10. So we have $10 left here. So let's put this one back in here. That one is done for today. We don't have, let's see, I think we have some 4s in here too. So we have an 11. These are just the extra ones where we have extra spots, like this one, our 4-year-old one here for our one daughter. This is one that just didn't happen at the time. So we're just trying to backtrack as much as we can. We have $10, but these are $4 increments. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and fill in 2. So we'll fill in 2 more here, which is $8. And then we're going to go ahead and exchange this for some singles here. So we've got 10. We need 5 ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is just my bank here off to the side. That way we can put in the 8, and we're going to have $2 remaining. So 5, 6, 7, and 8. I already shaded them here, minus 8, which gives us $2 remaining. So I don't have any increments. The $2 ones are already completed. So we need to either just let this build or put it towards something else. So I think what we'll do here, so what are we adding in total? So we've got that money here. So I think what we're going to put this extra $2 into summer softball here, which we might end up being able to have this left over after we pay the fee for this one, but we'll go ahead and just add it there. The way my envelopes work here, I can kind of shift this money between these envelopes all within this category. The knowledge is really just for me. It's already in this category in our high yield, and the envelopes are my knowledge. So I can shift that money into any one of these envelopes. It's all still within that category. It's when I shift things from different categories that I need to be mindful and make those transfers online. So that $2 went there, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 26, and 27. Oh my goodness. And now this one is done. I'm going to put that off to the side because I do save those, and we'll put this money in here. This is not a savings that I do count online. We try to keep that a little bit more private here. And now our 13-year-old one is done here too. We're putting a good chunk into this envelope as well, and that is the point here with these savings challenges is we are much more consistent now with these savings challenges. We are working on the 14-year-old one and the 16-year-old one for our oldest. We have been very consistent in just the last couple of years, but there were definitely other years that we started and didn't finish, or did a little bit, didn't do anything, and so we're using some of these older trackers like the 4-year-old one to catch up with savings challenges when we can. And look at that, today we had $76 to go ahead and make a dent, and that is so exciting. All right, let's move on now to our pets category. I don't think I'm going to need my calculator again here. Feel very discombobulated here. We got a lot going on. So, okay, pets category, we have how much for these envelopes here? We should have 45, 20, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, and 45. All right, vet visits, non-negotiable. That is totally fine. Although our increments are 45. No, you know what? Non-negotiable, we're good. I think we're going to put... Let's see what our dog care, 120, 40, 45, 145. I think, let's put $5 and just make it an even 50 here. That's going to make our dog care visits 150 total, 120, 40, 45, and 50. This is just for any extra assistance that we might need if we are gone for like an extended day or an overnight. Then we've got this money to use for dog care. But I think we're going to add this to breed test. And this is so exciting for me because I have had this envelope here for years, and it never receives any money because our priorities were always either adding to vet visits or dog care. And now we're at a point where these envelopes are filled. Dog care, for example, has just been funded by savings challenges and savings challenges alone. And this is now in a place where I feel comfortable with enough money in it that we can now move on to these things that I've been wanting to save for, but it's a want and it's not a need. We really want to have a breed test done on our younger of the two rescue pups. We did it for our older a number of years ago, our older pup, and it was so cool. And so, but they're expensive. So we've been wanting to do that for our younger pup, but again, it's a want, it's not a need here. But now we are able to use savings challenge money to save for this and maybe get to that goal. So now our breed test envelope has 20, 40, 50, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, and 68. Are you kidding me? $68 $200 now. We're probably over halfway there now to the goal of the amount that we would need for that. Let me just save these ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I think that's all we can do. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Just so I can save my ones here. I've got my bank off to the side. That's amazing. It's just exciting to see these savings challenges have that impact, to be able to have a sinking fund in a place that we are comfortable and we don't need to add any more to it. So we get to go to that next goal. So that is really exciting. All right, on to education here. Now we've got something specific here for education, and then we've got a little bit of money here. So this money is going to go to extracurriculars. It was $200, 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 60, 82. So we've got school registration fees. That's a non-negotiable. This $200 is going to our extracurricular fees for next school year. So this is for the fall. So if you caught my extra income cash stuffing, which was new for 2026, we're going to try to be really intentional about any extra income that we are bringing in on top of just our base pay. We were able to use a good chunk of it to go to summer school and camp money for the upcoming summer here for our daughters. And that was intentional. We knew that money was coming in and we knew we wanted to dedicate it here. And now this one is pretty much fully funded. I think we're pretty good for summer school and camps based on the notes. I kind of track how much we have spent in the past to anticipate what we're going to spend upcoming. And now we are able to start saving for those extracurricular fees that are going to pop up in the fall. And that's still so far away. And so it's wild to me that I'm able to do this now through savings challenges once again. And this is really, really exciting. Now we still have a little bit of extra money here. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and 36. Ooh, goodness gracious, what do we want to do with it? School supplies? We still have time for that. I'm not too concerned. We might just throw it in extracurriculars fees again here. I don't know. I think we'll just let this continue to build here. That would be amazing. And so we've got an amount that we're kind of tracking based again on previous school years on what we're going to need for that upcoming school year for like the music fees or the sport fees and the things like that that pop up, in addition to registration fees that end up getting paid. So let's see what we have now for our extracurriculars envelope. We've got 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and 36. $236. I am just absolutely amazed that we have done so well here and we are so ahead of the game because this is not needed until the fall. We definitely still have more that we need to save for this, but that is such great growth. Wait, can we condense for some ones here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got to save those ones. I will do a bigger cash condensing to kind of get rid of these fives and things at another time. I've been debating on whether or not I want to record that. I don't know. I feel like I would be a big mess here and make mistakes, but we'll see here. So school, summer school, and camps is totally done. And then we got school supplies, but we got some time on that. But a lot of it is just kind of organization, tracking and knowing how much we need, and then either making things non-negotiables or making those decisions when we know extra pay is coming in, or savings challenges that now just added over $200 to something for the fall. So we are way ahead of the game. So this binder is now done. So we're going to move this one off to the side. We're going to bring in this one here. And this one should have our holidays. Yep, our holidays and our home categories here. So we've got money specifically designated to different holidays with all of our clips here. And then we've got some extra money that we're going to figure out what we're going to do with. So we are starting with parents' birthdays. I had a little note on here so I knew how much I wanted to put back into it. Holidays in total is getting $279. A big chunk here. We're adding that 84 here into our parents' birthdays. 20, 40, 60, 80, 1, 2, 3, and 4. $84. We have some big milestone birthdays with our parents here in the month of January. So we definitely want to treat them to something super special for that milestone. We've got 150, 70, 90, 210, 230, 250, 270, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 275, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Saving those ones. 275 now so we can treat them for this big birthday this year. That is awesome. Super Bowl is going to get a little bit of money here as well as we designated 20, 40, 60, 70, 75. That just allows us to splurge. We don't have a party or anything. It's just a party within our own family family, we end up always doing, some special foods and things like that, and just kind of splurge on those things to have fun on that day. We are big sports people around here. Valentine's Day is going to get $30, and that gives this one a boost. Again, we don't do anything really big for Valentine's Day here, but gives it a little bit of money to go ahead and add to some sweet treats or something along that line. St. Patrick's Day we're going to skip here for now. We don't do anything big for St. Patrick's Day. We usually do like a special meal like Reubens or corned beef, something along those lines. Easter here is going to get a bulk of money. 10, 20, 30, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, $75 going to Easter here. Easter is in April this year, so we still have a little bit of time to save, and so that is a wonderful start for Easter. And then what do we have left? This is the money that we randomized: 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's go ahead and just grab another 5. Ooh, where do we put it? Where do we put it? Should we put it towards Easter? Let's go ahead and put it towards Easter. That's kind of the next big holiday that's coming. So I think we'll just add it there. It now has 10, 20, 30, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90. $90 now for Easter. We still got a few months to go. I love that. I'm feeling very ahead. It's giving me this sense of okay, we're not scrounging around. Easter's a month away. What are we going to do? Now, we still obviously need to do a little bit more savings for this, but this big month here is making me feel a little bit more prepared than other times, and I am loving it. All right, let's move on to home here, our home category. We have $34 going into home. Oh my goodness, we got a lot of ones here. So HOA fees is a non-negotiable here. Home repairs, but we also have our furnace and our sump. What did I say I had? $34, 10, 15, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. Okay, we're going all sump here. It is going all to the sump. We know, so these are two newer categories, the sump and the furnace, that we added in within the last couple of months here. My husband and I sat down and we were like, okay, what repairs, what types of things are going to be going here, kind of crapping out on us that we want to start saving for to avoid using an emergency fund. And two things that popped up was our sump, likely will need to be replaced in the upcoming spring and summer. And then our furnace, we're going to hold on to this furnace until we can't. So fingers crossed that it makes it through this winter. We just had it tuned up, so I think it'll be okay, but we know that that is looming and will happen, sooner rather than later. The sump, though, is kind of a more priority need compared to the furnace, because we know that the timeline on this is likely much sooner, at least for the chance and the opportunity to be able to save for it before we have to dive into an emergency fund. That's the goal with these, is to save a little bit. They're non-negotiables now, saving a little bit to avoid using that emergency fund and planning for that expense that we know is going to be happening sooner rather than later. Let's see what we have now in our sump. We've got 100, 200, 250, 300, 350, 370, 390, $400, 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and 32, $432. This has been a non-negotiable recently. In the last couple of months, we've been adding $50 a pay period, I think, and then we've been adding savings challenge money in here too. Let's save these ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that should be $15 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Okay, good. $15. We'll go ahead and save those ones here. We'll add the 15 in. That's awesome. Over $400 now. We're getting so close to our goal here for this, to be able to do a full replacement, battery backup, the whole thing. So we're getting we're getting closer. We're not there yet, but we are much closer than we were before. And again, the goal, we do not want to use that emergency fund for something like that. It's there if we need it, but we're hoping to avoid that. Let's move on to our last binder here now. Last binder has a couple of different areas in it. It's got vehicles, travel, emergency funds. Starting off with vehicles here, we've got $30 for vehicles. Registration renewals is a non-negotiable. Lease renewals. Car repairs, we need to start driver's ed here soon too. What do we have in car repairs? 1, 2, 250, 270, 1, 2, and 3. You know what? We're adding it in car repairs. We actually just had a conversation last night about the vehicles. So we are looking to add a vehicle, a third vehicle into our family this summer so that our daughters can have a vehicle to get to and from school. And then I would get the new vehicle that we're going to receive here. They can run the other one into the ground. So with that though, it is an older vehicle and it is paid off. Thank goodness. That is such a great feeling. And so like I said, it's going to go to the kids, but we do want to get some major repairs done on it before the summer and before I get my new vehicle. And so we're looking at tires, replacing the tires, the brakes, and all of those things to make sure that it is absolutely secure and ready to go. Now, there's no airs on it right now. We keep up with maintenance. My husband does the oil changes on it and all of the things. But we were talking last night, like, let's go ahead and start saving money here. We've always been saving for car repairs, but he's like, let's go ahead and start putting money away for brakes and tires, and we'll get that vehicle as pristine as we can get it when we make that transfer. Here you go, girls. And then I get the new vehicle over the summer. That's something that we're still researching and trying to figure out. It is definitely a want, not so much a need. It's kind of hard, right? But having that third vehicle for those kids to get back and forth, they've got all of their activities. Sometimes I am at different activities or my husband is working late. And so just having that extra vehicle for them is going to be huge. So car repairs now has 100, 200, 250, 270, 280, 85, 90, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 300, 1, 2, and 3. All of this money is from savings challenges. So this is not a non-negotiable category, at least not recently. This is all money from savings challenges over 2025 and now into 2026. And this is where I just love seeing those small amounts. We added what, $30? Okay, we added $30. Doesn't seem like a big amount, but when you're adding $30 a month or bigger amounts each month, that's where the impact really, really hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's the only one we can do here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's save those ones, add the 5. That is awesome. So we might make this a non-negotiable since that is on our radar now. That's something that we want to do this summer. So we'll see what happens with that. Travel. All right, here we go. We got a good chunk for travel here. We've got $115. Say what? $115. We do have money in family travel. We have nothing on the horizon. Let's see, 70, 90, 91, 92, 93. Let's make this an even 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That makes family travel an even 100, 50, 70, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94. Whoop, hang on. 50, 70, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100 here. That is awesome. We'll grab a 10. I don't have any hundreds available. We'll do that in a bigger cash stuffing or a cash condensing rather. $100 in family travel now, so nothing on the horizon here, but my husband and I do have a trip coming up here for the summer and celebrating our 20-year wedding anniversary. So we're going to add the remainder here, 20, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100, and then we've got $8 here. Now the trip is already accounted for and paid for, but we want to start saving that spending money and things like that for the trip. So there we go. A huge amount here going into this envelope. That makes me super excited to get that going. It is a very special trip here that we have been planning for some time. And so now it's saving for that spending money. Last category here is our emergency funds, and we break up our emergency funds. So of course we see the big total when we log into our account, but we like to have the individual sinking funds for our knowledge specifically as we are working towards these goals. We've got $62. Let's see, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 61, and 62. Pet emergency fund, home. Okay, we're going to break this up. Let's see, pet, home, car, so 20, 40, 60. Yeah, let's do that. Let's put $20 into each of these. So 20 is going to go into the pet emergency fund. Let's see, does that allow us to color anything in? I don't know. This again has totally been funded by savings challenges through the months here. This is a sinking fund tracker that can be found on my Etsy shop if you are interested. 1, 50, 70, 90, 2, 10, 11, and 12. 212, we do get to color in 2 more. Yay, that's exciting here. I don't know what color I was using before. We just grabbed this one here. So we get to fill in 2 of these hearts. Hey, that's pretty close. That might be the right one. That is really exciting. I wrote the increments on top of the little hearts here, just so I don't have to do the math every time. Each one is worth $10, but I wrote the little totals on here to help me keep track. So we are over halfway with this tracker now to get to $380. We do have our pet category, but this is just emergency money. If we need it, fingers crossed, we do not anytime soon. We're gonna add $20 into our home emergency fund here, breaking up this money, 5, 10, 15, and 20, 5, 10, 15, and 20. So we like to see the breakdown here, the separation. However, push came to shove, all of these envelopes is for emergency. So if something happened with the home and we didn't have enough, could we pull from the pet emergency fund? Of course, it's all there. It's all for emergency, but we just like to specifically save for the different components. And this is what we're hoping to avoid with saving for that sump in the furnace, is to avoid using a home emergency fund for those things. 50, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89. Drop in the bucket here. But again, all savings challenges here. We are making little dents here along the way. Car emergency fund, we're going to go ahead and add 20 into this one. 5, 10, 15, and 20. There we go. We've got 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 76, and 77. All savings challenge money here. Again, little amounts that are adding up. We've got 2 lonely dollars here. We're going to put this into our $1,000 emergency fund. This is to add $1,000 to our main emergency fund. That is the goal. It was a goal for 2025, and then we kind of scrapped it and focused on paying off the car, which I'm not upset about. It worked out. We want to do this here. I don't know if it's going to be a priority in 2026. We're going to kind of see how the year goes here. We might make this a non-negotiable at some point, but we're just adding little bits when we can. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Saving those ones here. I got a huge stack of ones on the side, which is wonderful. 50, 70, 90, 95, 100, and 101. So we have reached our first 100 here towards that goal of adding $1,000 to our main emergency fund. Oh my goodness gracious. January was a big month here. That is so exciting. The last thing I want to pull out here are some of the intentions that I had set for 2026 and just kind of review them here as we've reached the end of January. Let's go ahead and move these paper clips out of the way. Paper clips, I got a huge stack of paper clips again. And oh my goodness, can I show you all the ones that I have just now reclaimed from condensing? Yay, my savings challenges are going to be so happy now that I can go ahead and use those ones for those. Let's go ahead and bring in my goals here for 2026 and just kind of recap here. So this is my plan here for savings challenges in 2026. Let's kind of talk about what happened here in January. So my plan is to do mini Mondays along with year-long challenges. Check mark done. We were a little inconsistent, I say. I think we missed a Monday or 2 at the start of the month, but we were able to get those in January. Tiny Tuesday and Letterbox, check mark done. We worked on that. Okay, Thursdays are going to be our holidays and special occasions every other week, and our Christmas binder every other week. Okay, Thrifty Thursdays, yes, we got one in January, the first one. Very excited about that. We'll have our second one for the last half of January, that pay period in the last half of January, taking that rollover money that we didn't spend on our variable expenses and use it to save towards holidays. We got that off and running. Christmas binder, well, I can show you here that we have been putting the money away for Christmas. So each pay period, we are dedicating $100 for Christmas, and it is all in there. However, I just haven't started the challenges yet. So one thing I love about my system here is when we have these non-negotiables, or when we do our paycheck cash stuffings here for each pay period, we do go ahead and put that money into the different holidays. If we don't get to the challenges, the money's still technically there. So our money for Christmas is still there. I just haven't done the savings challenges yet. Part of me feels like it's because it's new. It's a new binder. It's a new process. And I tend to get a little nervous and kind of shy away about starting something new. So we're doing it. February is the month we're going to start using those savings challenges. We'll have a huge cash stuffing to start because I have that money sitting there ready to go, but it's going to happen here in February. I just got to get over that initial nervousness of doing something new, hesitation. I got this. Freebie Fridays here. Yes, we definitely did our Freebie Fridays. We missed the last one here for January, just with the chaos of like the car breaking down and all the things, but we have been working on our Savings Survivor. I do have a goal to get some more games into play here, but we've done pretty well. Our monthly theme challenges, yes, Toast to Savings was successful. We did do our group plays and our seasonals through January as well. So we did pretty well, and I have to keep reminding myself, like, consistency doesn't mean perfection. And that's something I'm really trying to hold on to. Consistency doesn't mean perfection. I don't have to do these each and every week. I want to. That's always the goal, is to be able to do these challenges and record it every other week. But then there's also life. I'm working. I've got my kids. I've got these other things going on. And as much as I love doing this, sometimes I just have to shift my time and dedication of where I can be and when, right? And so I keep reminding myself, consistency doesn't mean perfection. I was consistent in the month of January with my savings challenges. I wasn't perfect, and that's okay. I got to give myself grace in that and understand, like, dude, you were sick. You were in a car accident. The other car crapped out. Like, life was happening, and that's okay. You were consistent, and that is good enough. Cash stuffing videos, we missed our first one for January. We do 2 cash stuffing videos in a month because we have 2 pay periods that we account for. We get a paycheck at the start of the month that accounts for the first half of the month. We get a paycheck in the middle of the month, and that accounts for the rest of the month. So we got our second one in for January, and I was so sick at the beginning of January that I'm like, it ain't happening. Went ahead and cash stuffed the money anyway, but just didn't get it recorded. And then an extra income cash stuffing. Yes, we did our first one here for January. We had a huge amount as extra income on top of our regular base pay. This extra income cash comes from additional things that my husband and I can do in our districts that earns extra compensation. It comes from Etsy, from YouTube. Thank you so much for being here and supporting me on those platforms, Ko-fi. If we were to sell anything, and earn any money that way too, then of course that would be added in here. So that stream of income kind of comes from a lot of different areas. We got our first one done. Boom. Love it. And end of the month of money moves. Here we are. First one for January. The only other thing I have listed here is doing cash condensing and savings updates. I don't know if we're going to get that in for January. My goal is kind of monthly, quarterly. So I'm still kind of on the fence about this one and has a question mark. We'll see what comes with that. And then moving on to kind of my financial, more of intentions rather than goals. First one was tracking spending each month and update a yearly tracker. Yes, we tracked really well for the month of January. I'm getting my yearly tracker up and ready to go ahead and add those totals in for January. So check mark, yes, love it. Consistency, there's that word again. Adding to sinking funds and savings challenges each pay period, we did. Again, consistency does not mean perfection. The money is there each pay period. We go ahead and add it into the other areas. Even if I don't play the games, it's there and saved, which is the goal. We do want to add $1,000 to our emergency funds. There was that envelope there at the end. So again, it is an intention here, a goal. We're adding a little bit of amounts. We might try to make that more of a non-negotiable, just not at this moment. We'll see if we're able to do that. Family area here continued to growth towards the Save the Age challenges. Oh my goodness, we had a huge month for that today. We added $76 into our family category. 74 of that went into the Save the Age challenges. Huge check mark done on that one. Our future here, investing 10% of extra income. Yes, we did. So at the end of the month, when I have that extra income cash stuffing here, we go ahead and take a percentage of that and automatically add it to investments. And so we have started that. This is new, something I'm dabbling my feet in here in terms of an investment account, but we did do that. This is extra income that we are earning for any side hustles. So YouTube, Etsy, Ko-fi, those types of things. Determination here, pay off CC, accrue no additional debt. Okay, well, you haven't paid it off yet, but we didn't accrue anything additional. So making a little bit of some extra payment money towards it. So we're getting closer to that, but definitely didn't add any additional, which is a win. Discipline, transfer variable expenses rollover into savings. Yes, we did that for January. We had our first Thrifty Thursday video. I was shocked at the amount that we had. It was a really good pay period for us. We had a lot of money rolled over in groceries, which was shocking. I don't think it's going to be the same for the end of January, so stay tuned for that. But we got that going, and I am so proud of that. Our fun plan here is saving $1,000 for that summer trip. That's the trip that my husband and I are taking for our anniversary. We made a dent in that today, so we are getting closer there. Being mindful, research best option for car purchase. We are intentionally looking at that. Again, we made that decision now to go ahead and save for those repairs we want to make to our current car. And then we are already in the works of kind of researching and seeing what the best option is going to be. We're going to end up with a car payment. Oh my goodness. And it pains me, but it's going to happen. It's just kind of the reality of the situation, but we want to be really, really disciplined and intentional and be smart about that. And lastly, communication, working together with my husband and discussing finances weekly by weekly. I struggled a little bit probably in January. We definitely had some good communication and talks, especially regarding the car recently, but I definitely want to be more consistent with this as well, really working at it weekly and bi-weekly. So that's something we are still going to work on. So all in all, it was a really good month here in terms of our finances and our intentions here with savings challenges and our sinking funds. And so I'm really proud of that. Huge number here for January, but not surprising because we had our Save the Score football challenge, which gave us a huge boost. But I look forward to what the rest of 2026 is going to bring here for us with February, and then we can start doing some comparison totals as well. So that's it. That's a wrap on our January end of the month money moves. Goodbye, January. Ready for February here. We've got all of our challenges. I think I'll save them again here this year for 2026, just like I did with 2025. I thought it was kind of cool to see the big stack in the end. And of course, I have to save my Save the Score because I love to compare from the previous years. We totally crushed this year compared to last year. So I always like to see the comparison there too. If you enjoyed this video and you are not yet subscribed, I would greatly appreciate the support if you would go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. I'm getting closer and closer to 2,000 subscribers, and I will be doing a giveaway when we do reach that 2K. So you can help me reach that milestone of 2K if you subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget always to hit that thumbs up like button and leave me a comment as well. Let me know how your January went. I hope it was a good month for you. It was a doozy around here, but there's so many good things to also focus on. So life's unexpected events, those things are going to happen, but I have a lot of positive things that happened here financially, a lot of positive things in general, and so I'm holding on to that here in January after some of the craziness. If you happen to miss my last video, it will pop up on the bottom left-hand side of your screen, so you can always catch up with me there. I hope you all have an amazing day, and you're looking forward to February, the start of new month. Let's do this. As always, take care, be well, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.